What about, Sharon, look, from that point of view, if, let's say, the sports schools have subjects specifically about professionalism, being the next, for football players, being the next David Beckham, for example, do you think that kind of topic can work in Malaysia?
Definitely. I think the best thing that Malaysia has ever done is organizing Commonwealth Games. And today we have this sports conference. It's also because our athletes are doing so well, and we need sports law, sponsorship, dealing with media, and many more. I think there are so much more we can do to improve, for example, like America or UK, where their athletes are doing so well, get good sports contract, they get scholarship from universities. Back to your question, I think everybody has to work together. Not only the athletes, subjects in school, for sports specifically, I think we need sports law.
Yeah.
Even as athletes like Chinese, we were just talking about it. One of the reasons we don't get a lot of sponsorships and why even top athletes, we do not know our rights. They can just put our face everywhere. Even kedai mamak, for example, Latok Lee Chong Wei, kari terbaik, If, of course, don't quote me, please. Tapi, I'm just saying that we should be aware. Right now, to be realistic, most of our athletes, even top athletes, are a bit ignorant about our rights, about sports law. I think we need to know more about it. And in school, if can, since sports is doing so well in Malaysia, we should have sports law. Or like Azlan said, counseling for sports. Where do we go after this?
That's a good point, actually.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sharon. You see all the V's speak very well. Charin, I thought Sharon raised a very good point about having image. I think more and more people now identify themselves with sporting heroines and heroes. If we look at the way our life is revolving around, most of us revolve our life around some kind of activity, and sports is one of them. Look at our Malaysian athletes, having their images used all over and not necessarily getting royalty for that. How would you feel if you see Khoo Chailing's picture at a barber store, and say, potong rambut macam Chailing? So, what would your reaction be? How would you like to solve that? Yeah.
Well, obviously be shocked because they're using my picture without my consent and things like that. And from past experience, I noticed that some people, they want to sponsor but they don't want to pay as much as they actually should. And in terms, I'll get labeled as like, oh, so this demanding athlete. And it's actually my right to demand because I'm the best in my event at the moment, and I have been so for 11 years already. And I have to demand because this is my rice bowl. Yeah. If I don't demand, where am I going to get money? How am I going to eat?
Actually, on that point, interesting. In the Western countries, for example, some of the athletes, in my view, are fairly substandard, but their pictures are all over, and then we buy shirts with their names. And then some athletes are so good that even if, when I went back to Kelantan, in Tumpat, my grandparents are from Tumpat, and in a small kampung, my auntie who's not left Tumpat for 40 years, know this person called Tiger Woo. So they say, call me a boy. They say, boy, you play golf. So you are like Tiger Woo. So I was wondering who she's talking about, and it was Tiger Woods. Because so look at the marketing, the marketing, a makcik 50 years old know about Tiger Woo, So I think we need that, isn't it, Azlan? We need to push and promote our athletes. Azlan, to protect our members, our sports members' interests. What are your thoughts if I say to you, let's form athletes union? What's your views on that?
I think it's something that I've obviously thought about for a long time because, theoretically, national sports associations are there to take care of the athletes' needs, but we in some ways, not to say Persatuan Squash Malaysia didn't take care of, I guess, our needs. They did to their ability, but sports is growing, it's evolving, and things need to evolve in the same pace. And it's, ironically, we're talking about sports law, but there's no minimum wage for athletes' earnings.
For example,
the irony is such that we give minimum wage for for vocational skills. But what class are athletes categorized in? They're not. And you demand so much from the athlete, etc., etc. I mean, of course, it's reciprocal. I do believe that associations do need to hit KPIs. So, a contract with an athlete, let's just say MSN, tripartite agreement, MSN, Persatuan Squash Malaysia, athlete A, you don't have to hit your targets, And I think there's so many gray areas, and I think there should be a SOP, standard operation procedure, where targets need to be hit for you to get your, I guess, minimum wage, to say, I mean, let's face it, that sponsorship in the country is very, it's not great, because I guess the return on investment for companies that put in money are very low. So it's something that we have to take care of. Of course, we've got the best athletes, but if a corporate company is supposed to come in and sponsor, what would their return on investments are? I know Yang Bahagia Menteri Karya just initiated, and he said that perhaps tax initiatives could be given to help incentivize corporate companies and PLCs to sponsor athletes. But I guess, in effect, it's just that there's no spending power in the country. We're only a population of 7 million people. That, and as a consumer, if a consumer product was supposed to sponsor an athlete at a ludicrous amount of money, I mean, how would they justify it with their committee, and how would they, if the demand and the purchase isn't there? So I think, there are a lot of different entities there.